My name is Kiana, and this creepy thing happened to me 3 years ago. I'm an actual musician and part of the music club, a violinist to be specific. Well, every year we always get invited to a 3-day camping event from another school. This year, we got invited from a school in a very rural town. And it's an old private school, and it takes about a 9 to 11 hour bus ride to get there. So, as we're driving into the town, it seemed active and noisy, so I felt at ease. But just minutes later, I noticed that the crowd noises had vanished. I looked out the window and noticed we were headed to the woods, which is completely odd. Finally, after a long ride, we got to our destination. It looked like a mansion with a big gate and a signage that said St. Louis Academy. When we pulled up, an old lady came out to escort the 5 of us and our advisor inside. And that's pretty much how our day started. They had prepared 2 rooms for us to stay in. The boys were in one room, and we 3 girls were in the next. While unpacking and preparing our stuff, the students out in the hall stared at us while they passed by. They were wearing really proper uniforms, and they all looked gloomy and kind of creeped out. But it really didn't bother me. I thought maybe it was just because this school was really strict. So, after the first day of long music classes, we finally got back to the room, and I took a long bath to try and relax. Now, I've been going to these types of camps for years, and you'd think I'd be used to sleeping at other places, but I'm not. I'm still not comfortable at sleeping at other places. So that night, after much tossing and turning, I looked at the clock, 2:30 a.m., and I still hadn't gotten any sleep. I closed my eyes and tried to burrow my face into the pillow, when suddenly I heard a tap, like a footstep. I looked around and saw that everyone else was sleeping in their beds. Then I heard it again. Tap. Another footstep. I started to become pretty nervous. The footsteps sounded like they were just walking all around us, and I could definitely hear it. I started sweating and just tried to cover myself under my blanket. It was so creepy. The next thing I realized, it was already morning. While getting ready and doing our usual morning routine before class, I asked everyone, "Hey, did anyone else hear footsteps last night?" I tried to sound casual and not be creepy. Maya just laughed while curling her hair and said, "It's only your imagination." But Lennel, on the other hand, was spooked out. "So you heard it too?" she anxiously asked. We all froze, and Maya turned around. "You mean it wasn't just a dream?" she said. All 3 of us got really quiet, and there was this eerie feeling in the room. No one knew what to say, so we just kept quiet the whole morning. The boys seemed in good condition, but the 3 of us girls were totally creeped out. In fact, we were so creeped out, we couldn't focus and ended up being scolded because we weren't paying attention the whole day. By the time classes were all done and it started to become night again, it only got worse. The creeped out level went way up, and Leno was so freaked out, she couldn't even focus on sleeping. Maya and I were in the same boat. But after a few more hours, Leno actually fell asleep. But Maya and I continued to chat to distract ourselves. It was around 2:30 a.m. again when we heard a faint footstep. We both got goosebumps and looked right at each other. The footsteps became louder and louder. But this time, we both felt a rush of icy cold air hit us. We dove under the blankets, hoping that whatever it was would just leave already. I can't say for sure, but I thought something brushed up against me, and I swear I could feel its breath on the back of my neck. Let's just say, neither of us slept that night. I tried to shake off the creepiness in the morning and at least focus for the last day of classes, though Maya seemed to be having a really terrible day. She couldn't focus at all. We didn't even want to talk about what we heard or maybe even felt. We just wanted to get out of there. That afternoon, our bus arrived, and we were really grateful that we could now leave that school. The other students saw us off, but I seemed to notice that not everyone had a smile. Instead, they were all looking at us with a very wicked look. On the way home, Maya got sick on the bus. In fact, all of us girls were feeling really weird. It was then that the bus driver said something very strange that I will never forget. He said, "I can't believe you actually had fun staying overnight at that school." Later, we looked up that school and found other people posting about it. Turns out that the room we were staying in was the so-called isolation room, a detention room for students who got in trouble or got bad performances in class. They'd get locked up for a day, or sometimes even weeks. We also found out that just 2 years ago, before we came to that place, 3 students took their lives in that very room, which gave me the creeps. Did they hear what we heard? I'll never know, but what I do know is that that was the most traumatizing thing that has ever happened to me.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe to the channel to get our latest exclusive videos. Plus, hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.